Imagine this. You've been walking for 40 years. The sand knows your name. The stars have watched your children grow. And now, finally, just beyond the river, you can see it's your promised tomorrow. But here's the question. What if God's promise feels so close, yet still so far? Before we keep walking through this powerful story, take a moment to like the video and subscribe if this kind of reflection speaks to you. And hey, share in the comments where and when you're listening to this tonight. You stand at the edge of the Jordan River. Behind you lies a desert soaked with memory. Manna in the mornings, fire by night, rebellions, miracles, and funerals. So many funerals. In front of you, a land flowing with milk and honey. A promise older than your great-great-grandfather. A word spoken to Abraham beneath the stars, a covenant sealed not by ink, but by the breath of God himself. But you hesitate, because stepping into the promise doesn't mean escaping the cost. This land is not empty. It has giants, fortified cities, people with swords, walls, and centuries of history. Still, the promise stands. God first spoke of this land to a wandering nomad named Abram. He had no children, no map, no nation, just a whisper. To your offspring I will give this land. That whisper became a vow. That vow became a covenant. And that covenant survived slavery, exile, idolatry, and wandering. Because promises from God don't depend on the perfection of people. They depend on his nature. You remember how Moses stood here once, eyes burning with longing as he gazed into the land he would never enter. A holy tension, a broken finish line. Now it's your turn. The river parts, just like the Red Sea. The priests step in first, carrying the ark. As their feet touch the water, it stops, piles up upstream. You cross on dry ground. You carry stones from the riverbed, one for each tribe. A reminder, because memory is fragile and faith forgets. But God knows. This land is not a reward. It's not a vacation spot. It's a place to become his people, to be shaped by his law, to build altars, not just houses, to raise children who remember. And you'll face battles. Jericho is first. Its walls seem taller than the sky, but God tells you to walk, not attack. Walk in silence for 6 days. Then, on the 7th, shout. It's madness, but obedience often sounds strange before it looks like wisdom. The walls fall, not because of your strength, because of his promise. But even in victory, there's warning. Don't take what's devoted to destruction. One man does. His name is Achan. Because of him, the next battle at Ai is lost. You learn something painful. Disobedience in one heart can ripple through an entire nation. Still, grace returns. And little by little, the land becomes home. You build, you plant, you rest. But the promise isn't just land. It's a relationship. It's not about soil. It's about surrender. About worshiping God in the land, not turning the land into a god. That's where your story always teeters between promise and pride. You forget. You chase other gods. You make kings to feel strong. You trade covenant for comfort. And over time, the land, this sacred inheritance, becomes stained. Idols rise. Justice crumbles. Prophets warn. Then the unthinkable, exile. Foreign armies. Burned temples. Chains. The land vomits out the people meant to protect it. Was the promise broken? No. Because God never said the land would be kept without faith. He said it would be yours if you walked with him. So he sends prophets to speak hope even in exile. He promises return. He promises restoration. Because the land was never the end goal. It was the stage for something greater. Something coming. Someone. Jesus. Born in that very land. He walks its hills. Feeds its poor. Weeps over its cities. He becomes the promise not just for Israel, but for all nations. Because the true promised land, it's not just physical. It's every heart where heaven touches earth. Every soul that hears him say, "You are mine." So, where are you standing tonight? On the edge of something? In the wilderness? Or maybe you've already crossed into the promise, but you're still figuring out what it means to live like you belong there. Wherever you are, remember, the God who promised is the God who provides. And he's not done with your story yet.